Our high today, 17. It'll be partly cloudy through the day. Tonight, mostly clear. We're going to drop down to 10 for a low tomorrow. Partly cloudy and warmer, 33. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high right around 31. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Current temperature 13.
Got a kick looking over some of the comments we've had over the past year with Hawkeye games. Bill Madden has his suggestion. Why don't we just declare blackout games? Because we can't. It's not going to work. HawkFanatic.com brought to you by Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek, Patrick Eads Place. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Excuse me. Mike's E-Keys for cars. GT Car and his crew at Supa's Building and Remodeling. Supa's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Dirk Sterner Taxidermy. Herteen and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Ox Yoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Filling in for Suter, it's Jim Hunter. Pat is here. Pat Harty from HawkFanatic.com. And on the phone, we've got Coach Don Patterson.
Hey, Don, how are you?
I'm doing well, Pat. How are you?
Not bad. Finally, 2 days away from kickoff in a game that we've been talking about, for 2-3 weeks now. Now that you've had a chance to break down Iowa versus Vanderbilt without their star tight end, first of all, how much of a loss is that going to be in your eyes?
I think he's a significant loss. The reason I say that, Pat, they use him as a receiver, as an attached tight end, but there are also times when he's lined up in a slot. And he was their most productive receiver. And I think the targets he normally gets, you'll see him go to two different players. One of them, obviously, the backup tight end. His name is Cole Spence. So if there's an attached tight end, of course, he'll be running a lot of the same route combinations that the Stowers ran. It's been productive for him. And then if it's a slot receiver, he'll be Richie Hoskins is his name. He's the fourth leading receiver on the team in terms of receptions and receiving yards. And logically, of course, if Stowers is out, he's even more likely to figure in as a slot receiver because a lot of those snaps that have been going to Stowers will now go to Hoskins.
Okay,
so look for those two guys to be targeted more than normal.
Shifting to quarterback, obviously, Diego Pavia. If you're Iowa, what concerns you more, his passing or his running? Or are they both equally concerned? And how much are you concerned from Iowa's point of view about his ability to improvise when the play breaks down?
Yeah, I'll give a little bit of a combination answer. What concerns me the most about Pavia would be his ability to extend plays. Mm-hmm. And those might end up as runs when he simply scrambles, flushes out of the pocket, and doesn't see a receiver downfield. And, of course, he's above average as a runner. And the other possibility, of course, he extends the play and finds a receiver open down the field. He's very good at both those. So I do think one of our priorities for the game is to do the best we can to keep Pavia in the pocket. Obviously, he's not very tall, so if he has to throw out of the well, he's got problems doing that to some degree. They'd much rather have him on the run, out in space, and then have an ability, of course, to throw or run.
I saw on Twitter, I saw a video. It was a TV station from Nashville. They were down in Florida covering Vanderbilt, obviously, and they interviewed 2 or 3 defensive players for Vanderbilt, and they all said the same thing. First of all, with Iowa, you have to stop the run because once that happens, they're deprogrammed and they're kind of having to think outside the box. Obviously, that's what you would think too. I mean, that probably doesn't surprise you. That's what that's what Vanderbilt's defense is thinking. Stop the run with Iowa, then they kind of unravel after that.
Yeah, I think really in so many ways, the two offenses are a little bit mirror images of each other. Harty is above average as a runner. The bad news for Vanderbilt. Marcus Bernowski is also above average as a runner. And is dangerous, of course, when he does extend plays for his ability to run and throw.
I mean, obviously, Don, the big difference offensively is Vanderbilt has way more stats. I mean, Pavia threw for 3,100 yards. I mean, do you think Iowa is going to have to throw downfield to win this game? I mean, do you think they can win this game with Gronowski throwing for like 115 yards?
No, I think we have to put up more offense than that. I think it's going to be very difficult, even with our outstanding, to hold them anywhere in the teens. I'd say this: if we keep them in the teens, I think we'll win the game. If it's in the 20s, now all bets are off. You know, you're really not sure what's going to happen if they're in the 20s, and I think we certainly have a good chance to be in the 20s also. So it should be a good game. I think a 4.5-point spread the last time I checked. Based on that point spread, with Vandy as a favorite, I would definitely, as you've heard me say many times, I'll never ever bet on a football game. But if you put a gun to my head and said, what would you do? Would you take Iowa in the points, or would you bet on Vanderbilt? I would very definitely take Iowa in the points.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if we beat them straight up or not, but I'm confident if we don't beat them, it'll be a very close, hard-fought game.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a close game either way. I think it bodes much better for Iowa if it's a low-scoring game. Obviously, they don't want to get into a shootout with Vanderbilt. I mean, it looks like both teams are taking this game pretty serious. I mean, just kind of shifting away from Iowa, just this whole bowl situation. Just what your thoughts right now, Don, on the state of postseason college football right now? What do you think? And also, I want to get your thoughts on Kyle Whittingham taking over. But just what do you think? Where do you think college football is right now? You think it's in a good place?
I think we're headed in the precarious times, simply because bowl games are losing a lot of their value.
Yeah.
Because there's not that much at stake anymore. As you know, the best bowl games are part of the playoffs, and then any other bowl games, of course, there's a lot of people that are suggesting to the best players, why would you play in a meaningless bowl game? Why would you risk injury when you have so much at stake? Of course, they're especially hearing that from their agents, and the agents, of course, have a reason to be saying it, because it's going to affect their bank account also. If they're injured in a bowl game, of course, if it's a serious injury, of course, it can cost them a lot of money. But that didn't seem to matter to guys like Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta. They said, of course, we're playing in the game. And this year, of course, we have no one to bow out, to opt out. And that says so much about our players and their commitment to the success of the team.
Yeah, and to me, it seems like agents have way too much power right now. Too much power in the portal, too much power in delivering news. I mean, most of these stories that get broken now by these national media guys, they get it all from agents. Agents are basically running everything right now, it seems like.
Yeah, you're right. And a lot of guys make the mistake of assuming that they're going to end up with all kinds of money options to go somewhere else. And then when push comes to shove a lot of time, they're surprised that they're not worth nearly as much as they thought they were.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I also think some of these guys think that their NFL stock is bigger than it is. Now, Eli Sowers, the tight, yeah, he's going to play in the NFL. You can just tell. But some of these guys that don't play in these bowl games because they're worried about getting hurt, they never end up playing in the NFL anyway. So it's just, I don't know. It's just, I think we need a governing body in football. We've talked about that a lot. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think of Michigan's the way they kind of got – I'm impressed with it. I mean, obviously, Don, he's a bridge hire. He's a gap hire. He's not for the long term, but he's here for the next 3 to 5 years. Just your thoughts on how Michigan handled this.
Well, he's one of the most respected coaches in college football.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great career, of course, at Utah. And he always has been known for being a no-nonsense guy that relies on fundamentals of winning football. A lot like guys like Bo Schembechler and Lloyd Carr come to mind. They're that way. Of course, Kirk Ferris is that way. Hayden Fry, even though Coach Fry has a reputation, of course, for being Riverboat Gambler, we were always sound with what we did, and we always played the percentages and gave ourselves, in general, the best chance to win against anyone. And Kirk's did a great job of with that same approach over his tenure at Iowa, too.
Well, and I think the Hayden Riverboat Gambler thing, I mean, I once covered a game at Michigan State, Don, and Hayden handed the ball off to Cedric Shaw 42 times. I think sometimes
that expression comes to mind. You've heard the story. When he was a small boy, his dad gave him a pail to go milk the cows. He came back, and the pail was half full. And after getting a stern discussion with his father behind him, his dad said, "Son, you milk it till it's dry. You're halfway through the job. You got to go back and finish the job." And that's where Hayden had that famous expression, "Milk it till it's dry." If we're running the ball, why, God, will we stop running the ball? If we're running the ball effectively, I should say, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had $1 every time Bill Brazier had said in a game, thank God they didn't come back to that, because we had no good answer. And it's really true. One of the things Coach Ball always wanted to know at the half, plays that were good for us, he wanted to know what they were. He wanted to be sure he knew what they were, because we were not going to get away from those plays. We were going to make them prove to us that they could defend the plays that had already hurt them in the earlier stages of the game.
Well, he carried 42 times for 250 yards, and Iowa won 21-7, if I'm not mistaken. That was in 1995. I remember covering that game well. And he was getting 5, 6, 8, 9, 7, 6. I mean, he took a beating, but it just worked. I mean, I remember we asked Hayden afterwards, and he kind of said, he goes, "Hey, guys, you keep going with what's working. You know, Cedric's a tough boy. He can handle it, and I'll just never forget that." And yeah, okay, so how confident are you that Iowa's going to come out and be able to really run the ball against this Vanderbilt defense from what you've seen?
Well, I certainly like our chances. As you know, our offensive line has been honored now as the best offensive line in college football. Mm-hmm. Let's give them a chance to prove it.
Yeah.
And for that matter, we don't have a great running back on our football team, but we have several guys that are absolutely above average.
Sure.
And they can all share the load. And as you've always heard me say, it's a luxury to never have to play with a tired running back. And we're in a position where we can do that.
So let's say Gronowski ends up carrying the ball more than 10 times, you think that's good or bad for Iowa?
Well, I hope he doesn't have to carry it more than 10, because the less often he carries it, probably the more effective he'll be. Mm-hmm. In other words, if he hadn't carried it in recent plays, they may tend to forget that that's another option for us. One of the things I'm sure they're very aware of is in the red zone in particular, he's even more likely to carry the ball.
Yeah.
And that's affecting a little bit like playing with 12 players, because a lot of offenses, of course, they don't have to worry about defending the quarterback as a runner. But in the case of Iowa, they do. It's what's made us so much better in the red zone this year than what we have been in recent years.
Yeah.
The threat of a quarterback running the ball. The bad news for us, Vanderbilt has that same thing going for them. Mm-hmm. Javier will run the ball in the red zone.
And he's not very tall, but he's compact. I mean, they list him at 6 foot 207. I believe the 207. I'm not sure I believe the 6 foot. But okay, let's say if a team wins the running battle and the turnover battle, do you think that's going to be enough to win this game? Do you think those are the two most important parameters of this game, running and turnovers?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned turnover margin. I'll tell you why. One question you might ask, are there any parameters where Vanderbilt appears to be especially vulnerable? And there are only two. But one of them is turnover margin, and as you know, Pat, that's one you need to be good at.
Yeah.
And truthfully, Vandy has not been that good at turnover margin. They only gained an edge on turnovers, and I looked at 10 games. That's the 8 conference games, plus their 2 best non-conference games. Of course, I want the same sample of Vanderbilt as I have for Iowa. Mm-hmm. And in Iowa's case, of course, I took the 9 conference games plus Iowa State. So in their 10 games, they only had an edge on turnovers twice.
Really?
In 10 games.
Wow.
Now, they lost 5 times on turnover margin, and they ended up tying 3 times. But the bottom line, they only had an edge on turnovers in 2 out of 10 games.
Well,
and that's a good sign for us.
I've watched Pavia enough. He'll take chances. He'll take chances with the football, too. I've seen him have it in one hand, carrying it like a loaf of bread. Obviously, Iowa knows that. It'll be interesting to see the Iowa players tackling what have you. Do you think turnovers are going to be a big part of this game? Do you have a gut feeling either way? Or
Yes, I do. And statistically, we should win on turnovers. But my challenge to Iowa would be: don't be satisfied with +1. Let's try for +2. +2 will normally win for you against any and all opponents. As you know, there are a few exceptions. I'll give you one crazy exception that happened this fall in the Big Ten. You might recall Michigan was actually +5. I'm sorry, they were -5 in the game and won. And that game was at Northwestern. Northwestern was +5 versus Michigan and still lost. Now, that's almost unheard of. +5, I think, in the past 20 years has been a win every time in the Big Ten. Of course, it's rare when anybody's +5 to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
+5 and lose is unheard of.
So, how important is a quick start? I mean, we say this about every game. Do you think in this type of game, I mean, obviously Iowa doesn't want to fall behind. I mean, they're just not built that way. So how important do you think Kirk is emphasizing, guys, let's get off to a quick start here?
Well, I'm talking about vulnerabilities on the part of Vanderbilt. And these are not just something I dreamed up. This is what really happens in the games. 10 games again. There's another parameter that they struggle to win. And it simply is first points in the game. Vandy scored first in only 3 out of 10 games.
Really?
Yeah. So they've had a tendency to start slow. And then what we need to do, we need, of course, to be determined to get on the boards first. Because, of course, we play a lot better from in front than from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the only difference. Once we get the first points up on the board, what's key for us is to not let up with our aggressive play calling on offense. And that would simply mean just because you're up by, even if you're up by 2 scores against Vandy, here's the bad news for people playing Vandy. They average 39 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to, once you have a lead, you better stay aggressive with your offensive play calling so you don't lose that lead as the game plays out.
You got a sense? Do you think Tim's going to be aggressive? You think they're going to come out aggressive, take chances downfield?
I do. It's a bowl game. My gosh, we should be in the business of having fun with how we play, and for that matter, entertaining our fans with the way we play football. Let's be sure they all recognize we're not just playing not to lose; we're playing to win.
Yes.
It's hard to feel the finger with your foot on first. You've always heard me use that analogy, but it's true. So let's take some shots. Absolutely. Let's take some shots. Let's be wide open with our play calling. Why not? I mean, it doesn't affect our standing in the playoffs. We're not in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just find a way to win the game. Let's find a way to put our guys in position to feel good about their last game, those seniors, their last game for Iowa. They're the ones that opted to play in the game and not opt out. So let's reward them for that decision making. Let's play to win the game. I'm sure we're going to do that. Be disappointed and shocked if we don't.
I've in kind of studying the Vanderbilt team and looking at some video. They're more athletic at the skill positions than I thought. Their cornerbacks, their safeties, their line, they're pretty athletic. I mean, I think sometimes schools like Vanderbilt get typecast, but I mean, I've been impressed with their athleticism. I'm just kind of curious your thoughts on that.
Well, they've given up some points, of course. Here's the truth, and I wanted to be sure and point this out. I've looked really closely at the schedule. Of course, I've got eight conference games that I looked at. That's all they played.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the truth about conference play. here's the truth about conference play. In those games, it's been a little bit unusual with their scheduling, and here's why I say that. The final teams in the SEC, there were 4 teams that were tied with 7-1 records. Then they only played one of those 4 teams, and that team was Alabama, right? Alabama was 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 teams they did not play. Fortunate for them that they didn't play. And there were 2 other teams that tied with Vanderbilt for 5th in the conference. All 3 of those teams finished 6-2. And only one of those 2 other teams that tied Vandy was on their schedule. That would be the University of Texas. By the way, those other 2 losses,
Alabama
and Texas.
Yeah.
So they're one of the 7 top-ranked teams in the SEC, having tied for 5th. But in those other 6 teams, they only played 2 of them. That's pretty fortunate scheduling, I'd say. It's a little bit like what Michigan had in the Big Ten. Michigan only had to play 1 team in the Big Ten that was in the preseason top 25, and that, of course, was Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I look at Penn State's schedule next year. Have you seen that? I think Suter was the one who brought it up. Matt Campbell, I'm not saying, no game is a gimme in the conference play, but, man, Penn State's got a very favorable schedule next year. And what do you think? I mean, they closed the season with 4 straight wins. Just your thoughts on how Penn State kind of kept it. And I want to ask you, I don't know if we've had a chance to talk to you since the Iowa State defensive coordinator, Jim Haycock. I know he's a good friend of yours, and you've always spoke highly of him. First, are you surprised that he didn't go with Matt to Penn State, or did you kind of expect that maybe this would be it for him?
Well, I don't know that the culture for what I knew, John initially was going to go and coach again with Matt at Penn State. And there was maybe a lapse of a week or so before he announced, I'm retiring. Now, in John's defense, I believe he coached 43 years.
Yep.
That's a long time to be coaching college football. Maybe I'm not sure all of that 43 years was in college. Maybe some of it was high school. But he's been a college football coach a long, long time. And you've heard me say it's a real commitment time-wise to do it the right way, and I'm sure John has always done that. He's had a great career. I haven't talked directly to him, but we texted back and forth, and he's one of the finest coaches I've ever known. The one thing I'm sure of is that Matt Campbell was disappointed when John said that he was done, because I know that Matt had a high appreciation for John, and the kind of coach and the kind of man he was. So it's too bad that he's done. I understand it. There's got to be a time when you say that's enough, and we don't know what might have gone into it. Maybe it ties into John's health. Maybe it ties into the health of other family members. We just simply don't know. But he doesn't have to apologize for retiring, because he's had a long and distinguished career, and he will be missed from the game of college football.
He might just not want to coach anymore. Like you said, 43 years is a long time. And speaking of coaching, we have not spoken to you on the radio since LeVar Woods announced that he is, well, Iowa sort of announced it. It was kind of a strange setup, but it was kind of cool how it unfolded. LeVar is leaving Iowa for Michigan State. I mean, obviously, the reason is he's going to be the assistant head coach at Michigan State, just like Seth Wallace is at Iowa. So this is a step up for him in a lot of ways. And he said to me, he goes, I want to be a head coach. I'm going to be 48 in March. I don't have a lot of time. So just your thoughts on that. Were you surprised? And, I mean, the fact that he's going to do another Big Ten, just your thoughts on the whole setup.
Well, you heard me say before, I'm getting great respect for Pat. Pat's an outstanding coach, just as Kirk is. And so he's going to work for a man that he can respect very much as he respected Kirk all these years. And the one thing I don't know, maybe you can clarify, I wasn't sure, is LeVar still going to be the special teams coach? Or
Yes.
is he going to be
He's going to be special teams coordinator and assistant head coach.
He said special teams coordinator, is that right?
And assistant head coach. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got the all-important title of assistant head coach, and that suggests, of course, he's going to be part of the decision making.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. I'm sure Seth has a lot of Seth's opinion counts for a lot with Kurt. That's what really Kurt gave him that title, because he values Seth's input in so many cases, I'm sure. And I'm sure Pat feels the same way about LeVar. He's going to be getting LeVar's input, and LeVar's going to be in on the decision making as the assistant head coach. I wish LeVar nothing but the best. He's been great for Iowa football.
Yes, he has.
Both as a player and a coach. We're going to miss him, but you can bet on one thing. It's going to be hard for him to coach against Iowa, because his loyalty has lasted with us for a long, long time and always will.
I don't believe they play Michigan State next year, especially if his son stays at Iowa, which right now LeVar said that is the plan. To me, Don, I thought the moment Seth Wallace got the assistant head coaching job back in January of 24, I remember thinking, well, LeVar is going to be out of here not much longer. Nothing bad. LeVar, you could have given that job to either one. Kirk chose Seth, and to me, I'm guessing, because remember, LeVar almost left for an NFL team, if I remember about a year. It just seems like since that happened, LeVar's been looking, and hey, more power to him. I mean, it's a business. You got to watch out for yourself.
And my guess is there are very, very few head coaches that LeVar would agree to go work for.
Sure.
And walk away from Kirk. But let's face it, Pat Fitzgerald is one of the very best also. And in that regard, he's in a great place, right there along beside one of the best coaches in college football, and Pat Fitzgerald.
Well, LeVar also brought up a good point, too. He got to know Pat a little bit personally this year because they both had sons on the football team. Both their sons were true freshmen, redshirting this year, so they got to know each other sort of as parents and what have you, and I think that kind of helped to foster their relationship and kind of build their relationship, and he got to know Pat a little bit different just away from football. He actually brought that up at the press conference, and I've actually seen a report, and I don't know how true it is, but someone says that there's rumblings up at Michigan that they're interested in hiring Seth Wallace as their linebacker coach. But if I'm Seth Wallace, why would I go coach linebackers at Michigan when I'm already the linebacker coach and the assistant head coach at Iowa? That wouldn't make any sense, would it?
I don't think so. First off, he knows exactly what the lay of the land at Iowa. And at Michigan, let's face it, they've got a few cleanups on aisle 12 and aisle 14 to take care of, too, of what's happened in recent years at Michigan. Now, they made a great hire because Kyle Whittingham's reputation is second to none. As I've already mentioned, he's a no-nonsense guy, and he'll run it the right way. You can bet on it. And I think it'll be a return very much to the Lloyd Carr days and the Bo Schembechler days at Michigan.
So, yeah, that was just one report somebody sent me. It was some message board. It was somebody who claims to cover Michigan on the Internet and just saying that they're hearing rumblings that Seth Wallace is. And we'll see. I mean, so with LeVar's situation, I mean, that's what happens. I mean, the only risk in having good assistant coaches is that they go away. I mean, you saw it happen with Hayden's staff. I mean, the better you are, the more other teams take notice and say, hey, I mean, one of the first things Lou Holtz did when he took over at Notre Dame was hire Barry Alvarez as his defensive coordinator.
You're right. And, of course, Abby couldn't move up at Iowa because Bill was still coaching.
Yes.
And he did what he had to do. He became a defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, no less. And, of course, in just a couple of short years, I believe, he was off to Wisconsin. It didn't take that long.
No, and the same reason Dan McCarney, I mean, Bill Brazier wasn't ready to retire when Barry offered Dan the coordinator job, so Dan had to take that. That's just kind of how this business works. I want to ask you a little bit about the playoff games. Like right now, do you have who do you think Ohio State, Indiana, do you think they are clearly the two best teams in the country right now?
Well, clearly it's a hard
yeah, maybe that's overstating it.
I think, because they're certainly not guaranteed to win their next games. Tough opponents all around. We're down to 8 teams. All 8 of them are good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some great matchups. I wouldn't want to bet against Ohio State. I wouldn't want to bet against Indiana either. I think they both have a great chance to win. And you heard me say after the Big Ten championship game, the bad news for Indiana is Ohio State may still win the national title. That's how good Ohio State is. And having said that, isn't it more than just a slight chance that Indiana will win the national title? They're two of the most sound teams that are in all of college football, and they certainly have a chance to end up in a rematch. It's entirely possible.
So, Don, do you think that the Big Ten has narrowed the gap with the SEC? Because it sure seems that way. Maybe I'm biased because I cover Big Ten football, but obviously the SEC has been the pillar, you know, the high point of conference strength and what have you, but they're not doing very good in bowls so far this year, and it just seems like the Big Ten has narrowed the gap a little bit. Do you agree?
I do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, but right now the Big Ten is 5-0 in bowl games.
Yes.
Isn't that true?
Yes.
5-0, and of course we're favored to win some of these bowl games that are related to the playoffs. And for that matter, we're an underdog. I like our chances of knocking off another SEC team in Vanderbilt. So I think the Big Ten's going to be hard to beat in terms of overall bowl record. We're easily out in front right now. I believe the SEC right now is maybe a 500 or so in bowl games so far.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they're going to win some of these games coming up, but they're also going to lose some of them. That's just the nature of the playoffs. It's hard to win quarterfinal and semifinal games.
Yeah, no, it is. And like you said, I think of the 8 teams left, I think they can all beat each other, and that's what you want. I do think we're going to have 16 teams by next year. I think what happened, I mean, the people saying that Tulane and James Madison obviously didn't deserve to be in the playoff based on how they played. What's your stand on that?
Well, I had pretty the one of them to be in the playoffs because I suspected the games would go much like they did. They were very competitive, which, by the way, is exactly what happened a year ago. Same thing applied. You know, those seeded 9, 10, 11, and 12 last year, all of them lost to those teams that were 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And as I recall, most of those games were several touchdown differential. So this year was not a whole lot different. You know, Tulane fought, and so did oh my gosh,
James Madison.
That lost to Oregon.
James Madison,
thank you. You know, they competed, but it wasn't much of a fight. You know, it wasn't much of a game, really.
No.
And, you know, you found yourself wishing that would there have been other teams that could represent better in those 11 and 12
like Notre Dame
positions. I think so, absolutely. Notre Dame's one of them, obviously. And you can think of several others that missed out that would have certainly given a better account of themselves than what James Madison and Tulane did.
No, I think Iowa would beat Tulane and James Madison. I really do. Maybe I'm biased, but one thing I will say was when I did turn the Tulane game on, I didn't watch much of it, but right when I turned it on, I think they scored their only touchdown, and it was a tight end scoring. And who had the key block for that tight end? Johnny Pascuzzi, the former Iowa tight end. And I texted his dad, who I knew would be down at the game, and I said, man, I just watched your son have, you know, and then he got back to me, you know, Pat, it's been a great ride. Johnny didn't leave here mad. He just left for a better opportunity, scholarship and what have you. But it was cool, though, and it was a typical Iowa block. It was a perfectly executed block.
Amen. Yeah, I'm happy for him because, you know, the guys that transfer because they simply haven't received as much playing time as they were hoping for, and they're not unhappy with Iowa football. In so many cases, I think they recognize I'm just not quite as good as the next guy that I'm competing with for playing time. And they're leaving, but in so many cases, I think they wish they didn't need to leave, but it's more fun to play than it is to watch. And sometimes they reluctantly leave, and I think Johnny's a good example of that.
And Johnny did, for a walk-on, he did play a decent amount at Iowa. Now, he was used mostly as a blocker, but he did play.
Right.
I just think he was looking for an opportunity, not necessarily NIL or whatever, just to be more involved in the offense. And, you know, Tulane's a pretty good program and what have you, but his dad's never said a bad word about Kirk, about Iowa. They've been very complimentary of Johnny's experience here. And like his dad said, it's been a great run. It's crazy to think. It seems just like yesterday. I remember when Iowa started looking at Johnny Pascuzzi in high school, I'm like, damn, that's the son of a guy I went to high school with, and now his career is over. It's amazing how fast 5 years can go, Don.
Yeah, you're right about that. You know, truthfully, the players that my experience in my 37 years of coaching, the players that didn't receive as much playing time as they hoped for, they were not nearly as discontented or disillusioned as typically as parents.
Mm-hmm.
The players, in defense of the parents wonder why their son doesn't play.
Well, they're not at practice every day.
Well, the parents don't have the advantage of being at all those practices and watching those scrimmages. And in so many cases, the players know I'm not as good as my teammate that's playing that same position. My parents don't really understand that, and that's because they love me and care about me. But they don't have the advantage of being in all those film sessions and understanding I'm playing as well as I can play, and the other guy's simply better. That's the reality. So players in so many cases know that they're not quite as good as the next guy. How do they know all that? Because they're in all those meetings and they're watching the video that demonstrates that they're not quite as good. Doesn't mean they're not good players, but you're simply looking for a winning edge against anyone and everyone. Obviously, the best players play the most.
Yeah, that's the criticism about. I'm not saying Kirk is not above criticism. I mean, I've criticized Kirk for some of the stuff he's done, but I've never understood the fans who have this narrative that he plays favorites and doesn't play guys that are better than other guys and the best guys. I've never understood that criticism. Kirk's job is to win games, and he's going to play the best players. And, he played his two sons on the offensive line. I guarantee you those years where they were playing, they were five of the best offensive linemen, especially James. I mean, James was really good. So I've never understood that. I've never really understood that criticism.
Yeah. I've always explained to our players the very first time I met with them, I would simply tell them this: I'll never let you forget this. The best players will play the most. Now, if you're the second best player, you're going to play a lot too, because when we have a comfortable lead, any kind of comfortable lead, you're going to be in the game. Mm-hmm. You're going to get significant playing time, provided we can win all the games that we should win. Mm-hmm. And if you're the starter, you don't have to like that you're out of the game now, but you're out of the game now for a reason. Why would we risk getting you injured if we already have the game in good hands? At that point, you're out of the game. I remember one time we had a guy at the half. This was at Western Illinois. The sports information guy came in and he said, Coach, the quarterbacks just tied the school record for touchdown passes in a game. The next, because that starter's done. We're going to be lead. I'm not playing him. He wouldn't want to break the record against a lesser opponent anyway. Mm-hmm. And then he broke the record later in the season against a quality opponent. It meant a lot more to him, I'm sure, to do it against someone when we needed great production out of him than to do it against some team in a one-sided game. That made no sense. He wouldn't want to break the record in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm trying to think if we've pretty much we've covered everything. So, Don, how confident, before we wrap up, how confident are you that Iowa's going to win this game? I'm starting to shift more towards Iowa. I don't know why. I've been thinking Vanderbilt, but I do think the Sowers loss is going to be significant because when I've watched them and he was such a key part of their offense. So are you pretty confident? Do you feel pretty good about Iowa winning this game?
Well, let me give you a comparison that Iowa fans will be very familiar with. Let's go back to Marv Cook. Imagine Marv Cook deciding, I'm going to opt out of this bowl game after the career that Marv Cook had, or the senior year that Marv had. Mm-hmm. He would be a huge loss for our offense. Another prime example that I've already mentioned, Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Sam game. Well, imagine Sam Laporta opting out or Jack Campbell opting out. That'd be a huge loss to Iowa football. It didn't happen, of course. And but in the case of Eli Sowers, he's opted out. I'm not being critical of him. He's been encouraged to opt out, of course, based on agents and maybe based on the fact that maybe he knows something that suggests he really does have a chance to be the first tight end in the draft. Of course, that'd be worth a lot of money to be in that slot. But the bottom line, Iowa players don't opt out. It means too much to play one last game with their teammates. And really, historically, it hadn't happened much at all.
No, I mean, Caleb Johnson did last year, and I don't know if that helped. I mean, do you think that helped his drafts? I don't know if it really helped, but he hasn't had a great rookie year. Not saying that they're related, but no, it happens some. There are some Iowa players. I mean, Jamari Harris. But no, you're right. For the most part, they don't opt out.
Yeah, very true. Pat, I do have some other analytics that you're going to find really interesting.
Okay.
If you got a few minutes, I'll talk about them. Let's just zero in right now on Vanderbilt's 10 games. This is a good thing to do. As I mentioned, that's the SEC schedule, plus Virginia Tech and Utah State. That's their two most competitive non-conference games. So what I'm looking for, of course, is parameter wins that are most often linked to winning. There are two of them that are 10 for 10. In other words, if you won the parameter, you won the game, all 10 games. Okay, those two parameters are third quarter scoring, okay, 10 for 10.
Okay.
And, of course, eight times that was Vanderbilt that won the third quarter and won the game. And, obviously, there were twice when it happened. And, obviously, Alabama and Texas both won the third quarter. They won the game. So it's 100% win, the team that wins the third quarter wins the game in those 10 games. I'll just take you back to the Big Ten championship game. You might recall, if you really isn't listening closely, I mentioned that Indiana and Ohio State were 14-0 in third quarter scoring. They were both 7-0 and won the games, of course, and that left two ties for each of them. I'll be damned if in the championship game, the team that won the third quarter was the team that also won the game. It was Indiana.
So, Don, obviously third quarter scoring is halftime adjustments, right? So are we talking coaching?
Yeah, really, a lot of it is halftime adjustments. The funny part, in the Big Ten, I went back to check, and the least consequential quarter in the Big Ten this entire season was third quarter scoring. Historically, that's usually the case. But obviously, third quarter scoring is a reflection of halftime adjustments, absolutely. Because that's when you have a chance to put them on the field, is in the third quarter. And obviously, I would say it's critical that we win the third quarter because the only two teams that did it to Vanderbilt are the two teams that beat them.
Okay.
Alabama and Texas. So that's one. The other one that's 10-0 is simply fewer passing attempts. Not more passing attempts, but fewer passing attempts. That's only ranked 22nd in the Big Ten this year. Or last year it was 22nd. I'm not sure where it finished this year, but down in that same range. But obviously, that applies to all 10 of Vanderbilt's games. Again, 8 times Vanderbilt had fewer passing attempts. Only twice did the opponent have fewer passing attempts, and you already know which two games those were, Alabama and Texas again. So what I've done after looking at, so that's a good stat to have on our side. We need to have fewer passing attempts than Vanderbilt, and we need to win the third quarter because their 10 game says if you do that, you beat them.
So if Pavia throws 35, 40 times, you're saying that will improve Iowa's chances of winning, you think?
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. And let me do this. I took their 10 games and I also combined them with our 10 games. So now I'm dealing with a sample as many as 20 games, right?
Okay.
So here's the parameters when you combine the two schedules that carry the most weight. Passing yards per attempt is 17 wins and 3 losses. That's 85% win. Passing yards per attempt. So, again, not how many yards you throw for, it's how many you average per attempt.
Okay.
So the goal is to have fewer passing attempts than Vandy and to be sure in the same exact game that you have more yards per attempt.
Okay.
You didn't throw as often as Vandy, but you threw more effectively than Vandy.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
More yards per attempt.
Okay.
So that's one. Here's another one that's important. Red zone scoring success. That record in the 20 games is 15 wins and 3 losses. That's 83% win. And again, we're combining all 10 of our games with their games. here's the thing to realize. There's only one team on the schedule that did a great job against Vandy in the red zone, and that was Alabama.
Okay.
Against Alabama, they were down there 3 times, and they had a total of 6 points to show for it. They scored 1 touchdown, but twice they came up dry. No points at all. So they averaged 2.0 on those 3 possessions. And that's really good defensive football. What I'm hoping, I know that our coaches are aware. I don't know because they haven't studied the tape like they have, but I know my message to them was, I'm hoping there's something you can learn from Alabama's red zone defense that maybe we can apply to our own defense. Maybe it just confirms the way we planned on playing anyway. But obviously, Alabama did a good job of defending Vandy in the red zone. And as I've already mentioned, they're above average in the red zone, primarily because they have the threat of a running quarterback just like we do. Our red zone offense has been better this year than any year in recent history, primarily because of a guy named Mark Gronowski. Because he's run for touchdowns and he's thrown for touchdowns in the red zone.
So if he throws fewer than 20 passes Wednesday, do you think that bodes well for Iowa?
It does.
Okay.
It does bode well. But here's what I'm hoping for. He throws 20 passes and they're worth 200 yards.
Okay.
10 yards per attempt. I'm pretty sure that Vandy will not have 10 yards per attempt on theirs. And that's just, I'm not trying to beat up on Vandy. I'm just simply giving our guys credit for being really good at defending the pass.
Well, don't you assume Vandy's going to load the box, too? I mean, they're going to just dare Iowa to throw downfield?
Well, I'm sure they're going to give us some of that. And that's why, and if they do, for God's sake, we better be ready for it. You heard me talk about it before. You heard me talk about man beaters. If they're going to play man coverage, you better have some plays that are designed to take advantage of them for choosing to play man coverage. And now you're getting into rub routes or throwing the ball behind the line and cracking on defenders that are manned up on those receivers, stuff like that. You know what rub routes are, of course. Mm-hmm. Maybe just getting the best possible matchup. Maybe it's not against a particular corner. Maybe it's against a typical slot defender that's also manned up, and we're going to put our best receiver against him, and maybe it's a size mismatch. Maybe it's Reese Vanderbilt versus their smaller defender. Maybe it's Sam Phillips because of his quickness and speed versus the slower safety. There's a lot of different possibilities, of course, but the one thing I'm sure of, I know this for a fact, Tim Lester understands mismatches versus man coverage. Mm-hmm. He's going to work hard to put us in a good position to take advantage of a mismatch.
Okay. Well, great stuff as usual, Don. We'll do this again. I'm not sure when yet, but I want to do one more show, but I'd like to maybe get a few more playoff games done so we can talk about more than just the Iowa Bowl game. But, guys, you have anything you want to add to this? Or
I just hope Don has a
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Absolutely. And like I said, I'll be in touch. I'm feeling better about the Hawkeyes' chances after talking to you today, too. I just interesting about the fewer passes is going to bode well for that. That's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. Anything else, Don, before we wrap up?
Well, the other thing I'll mention to you, Pat, I've already made a commitment to preview the national championship game. As you know, I speak once a year at the quarterback club luncheon.
Okay.
And I believe that's scheduled for the day of the championship game, whatever Monday night that is, and here in January. I'm not sure it'll be obvious that if the game's that night, that luncheon that day will be a preview of the analytics for the game. And of course, we don't have a dog in the fight, so I'm happy to talk about those analytics with anyone and everyone.
Okay.
If you want to do a preview, that one possibility would be I'm going to do it at the luncheon that day on that Monday. I'm pretty sure the championship game is still Monday night, I believe. Mm-hmm. And if you're wanting to do our usual 9 o'clock show, that morning, Pat. I'd be happy to
Okay,
do
yeah,
it.
we'll plan it. We'll plan it out. I'll talk to Suter about it, and yeah, I'd like to do it to where we can talk about the Iowa Bowl game, of course, but also talk about the playoffs. So yeah, I'll be in touch with you again. Happy New Year, and look forward to talking to you once this bowl game's over, and hopefully we're talking about a win.
Absolutely. I'm excited about our chance to win this football game because I know this. It matters so much to our players that they finish up the right way. And I'll just remind all of our listeners again, this is not the typical 8-4 Iowa team, and I'm not trying to beat up on other teams that finished 8-4. This team came within 15 points of being 12-0, and that's significant. Nobody beat up on Iowa football this year. They were able to beat us, but it was a struggle for all four of them, as you know.
Yeah, it was.
And that's something to be very proud of. We have not laid a single egg this season. I guess a lot of people might argue that Iowa State was a case of laying an egg. I don't think so. Iowa State would have gone on to a better season if they hadn't had so many injuries.
And they still went 8-4. I mean, they did win 8 games with tons of injuries.
We lost to 4 very good football teams. That's something to be proud of. And we competed like champions in all 12 of them. And I'm pretty sure we're going to do it again in game 13, too.
Okay. All right, Donnie. Great stuff as usual. I will be in touch. Again, Happy New Year, and we'll talk later.
Thanks, Pat. Same to you and all of your families. And we look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay.
Thanks, Donnie.
Yep, take care.
Should we take a break?
Yeah, I think we will.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
It is going to be windy with some blowing snow this morning, but the wind will gradually die down and conditions will improve as we head through this afternoon. Our high today, 17. It'll be partly cloudy through the day. Tonight, mostly clear. We're going to drop down to 10 for a low tomorrow. Partly cloudy and warmer, 33. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high right around 31. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Current temperature 13.
KCJJ weather brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
for a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stalker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stalker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStalkerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Hi, this is Jill Sterner with Sterner Taxidermy in Lone Tree. It's hunting season again, and I'm inviting all of you hunters to follow us on our Facebook page. You can view Dirk's award-winning artistry, his workmanship that he completes with each individual piece. We can be reached at 319-330-1774. Again, 319-330-1774.
So the holiday season is winding down, and you know what that means. The dreaded chore of taking down the outdoor Christmas lights. The cold, the wind, the tangled cords, the burned out light strands. You can't wait to just shove them into a box and worry about them next year. Wouldn't you rather leave those lights up and customize them for different holidays all year long? Well, now you can with Illumalight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illumalights provides illumination for every occasion, holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illumalights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illumalight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illumalight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or give me a call at 400-4483. 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance. Honest plumbing at a fair price.
There's a problem here in eastern Iowa. There's not enough Hawkeye fans. I mean, really, shouldn't everybody be a Hawkeye fan? Well, maybe not, but you should be a fan of my team at Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson, and my team of experts at Hawkeye Title and Settlement know what they're doing. Call us at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurant at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major Major House Edition. You'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what here for you means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement here for you, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
A gift idea with great taste. Over 85 years of preparation in the Oxyoke Inn's book, Our Recipes, Our Story, is on sale. 90 pages in full color, 67 recipes, and our unique history for only $24.99. Get yours while they last at the Oxyoke Inn. Also mail order along with our current serving hours at oxyokeinn.com. Oxyoke Inn, in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn.
Happy New Year from the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
They are going to open up I-35.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's been closed, but they're going to open it up now.
Yeah, from like Ames to the Minnesota border.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, that's good. Those of you that are traveling that way.
Take it away, Pat.
Yeah. Well, we got the men are playing this afternoon against, UMass Lowell?
Yes.
Yeah. 4 o'clock start.
I'm depressed, man.
Why?
He got better health insurance than I did. His didn't go up at all. Mine quadrupled.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
More power. More power to him.
Mine didn't go up.
Mine almost quadrupled.
Mine went up. I think mine went up like $15.
Yeah, I wasn't paying much.
I don't know
monthly to begin with, but I did. I will say that Tiffany was able to find me. The key thing is she found me a cheaper out of pocket. I've cut my. Remember the year I had my hernia operation?
Yeah.
I had out of pocket of like $8,000. I had to pay like $8,000 of it myself.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to do that. So I'm willing to pay a little bit more monthly. She was able to. I think my out of pocket now is like $3,900. That's
a huge difference.
That's a big difference, and I would have been lost without her.
Mine's at least double that.
I would have been lost without Tiffany. And I know she advertises with both of us, but she's been one of the best things that ever happened to me about coming to this radio station was meeting Tammy, and of course Tiffany now, because they've navigated the health industry for me during my 50s.
What other good things have happened to you?
Well, there's been but that's one of the best. I'm serious. 631-4795. I know that number because of you guys. And Tammy was the first one that got me going, and then Tiffany. It's just been a godsend for me.
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
I was promoting one of our advertisers.
Yeah.
She advertises with both of us.
Yes.
Yeah. And I will say mine is still at a very affordable monthly rate along with the cheaper out-of-pocket.
I don't know what's happening with Medicare. I have no idea.
Well, ask Tiffany. She knows.
Yeah. Well, I did, and she told me. I just don't have any.
You just don't remember? You just weren't paying attention.
I don't remember.
You don't remember what she said.
Start throwing numbers around, you get confused.
But no, like I said, though, that I would have been, because I don't know anything about the health insurance. And Tammy first and Tiffany now, they've just been godsends for me.
Hello.
Hopefully you're listening, Tiffany.
Hello.
Hi, Kern.
I'm not hearing anything.
Well, we're hearing you. So.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're hearing.
Well, something's wrong with my phone then, because I can't hear anything. But anyway, what did you think of the women yesterday?
It went as I expected. Penn State's not very good, and they beat them convincingly.
What's with Stokey and her free throws?
She's an average free throw shooter. That's just not one of her strengths.
Are you okay? I can hear me in the background.
I don't know. Something's wrong with my phone. I can't hear anything.
Well, we can hear us in the background at your place.
Yeah.
Well, I turned the radio on so I could hear something.
Well, I don't understand. It's working. It seems
But
to be.
anyway, I was thinking that Stokey's going to have to get busy and learn how to make free throws, because otherwise they're going to be fouling her all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, she's made free throws at times before. I don't know. I wouldn't worry about that right now. There's other things that are probably a bigger concern. I'm more concerned about her inability to make 8 to 12-foot jump shots. That's what I think she needs. She passed up some wide-open shots yesterday because I don't think she's very confident.
Oh, my phone finally worked.
Oh, good.
Okay. you need a new phone.
Anyway, do you predict for the score of the football game?
I haven't thought that far ahead. Okay, I'll say I don't know yet. I'm not sure who I'm picking to win yet, so I'm not sure. I've been leaning toward Vanderbilt, but now I may pick Iowa. Who knows? I think it's going to be a close game within 4 points.
I think Iowa's going to win by 1 touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to hold you to that.
And this afternoon, you think the men will win by lots?
Yes.
God, I hope so.
Yes.
I'm worried about the parking.
Well,
as are we all.
You don't have to go. There's always that option.
Well, that's true, but you got a ticket, you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a media digital parking pass. I sure hope there's a place, because if I can't find a place to park, we'll see. I'm not sure. There's this.
Well, invent your own parking.
No, it's not. But there's this belief that all these Iowa UI employees have the week off between Christmas, and that's not true.
Well, some do.
Some do, but most
then
don't.
I know some will still be working.
Most don't. So parking, it will be interesting to see how.
So there may be some parking.
I'll hope so.
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think there'll be
Or
a
if you go early, maybe you can sneak into a place.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys have a good, happy New Year, and let's have some good games.
Okay.
Get a new
All right.
phone for the new year.
And I hope my phone works better. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, so the women play again on New Year's Day, and they have a game with Nebraska at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And Feuerbach is still tentative for. She's got an ankle injury that she's nursing right now, and Coach Jensen addressed Emily Rodriguez, who apparently is still with the team and has chronic back issues that go day to day. So she was on the bench yesterday. I know a lot of people said she was suspended and all this stuff, and she basically
Iowa never said that.
No, Coach Jensen said that post game.
I was there.
I never said
I was,
anything.
Yeah, no, that's just other people that have said that. And anytime I've written about it, I've just said reportedly. But Iowa's never said she was suspended. Obviously, something's gone. Something was up, but she's back, and she was on the bench, wasn't in uniform, has some back issues. So now you just move forward and go from here. I mean, it's not really that big of a distraction. I think they could sure use her scoring, and so we'll just see. Yeah, Nebraska's going to be a tough challenge. I think with it being here, I think Iowa's going to win, but that's why you play the games. 1 o'clock on New Year's Day is not the most ideal time. I'm not sure what bowl games are on at that time.
Oh, well, let's take a look, shall we?
Maybe I'll have
Orange
to,
Orange Bowl's on at 11. The Rose Bowl's on at 3. And then the Sugar Bowl's on at 7. So there's only those 3 games on.
Only 3 of the biggest games.
Yeah, of course, yeah, I understand.
Maybe reaching out to John Bonenkamp about covering the women on Wednesday if he is. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday I figured they were going to beat Penn State. They're better than Penn State, and they showed it. And they had a 16-0 run, and the game was basically over. Penn State never cut the deficit to single digits after that, and basically after this whole second half was just a matter of just getting the game done. Ava Hayden was very impressive, using her speed to run the court. Penn State center, while effective, 6'6", Gracie Merkel, she's very slow of foot, and she had trouble keeping it. She couldn't keep up with Ava, and Iowa just crushed them in transition. Iowa had 9 layups in the third quarter baskets, and Ava had 3 of them. So, yeah, no, it was a nice win. They beat a team that they should beat, and they beat them convincingly at home. That's what they needed to do. And thank God it wasn't UConn. That was my lead. Hey, man, what a difference playing at home against a team that's not ranked number one is just what Iowa needed. And, they took advantage of it. Penn State 8 UConn.
No, not even close. Well, Penn State's.
I will tell you, I walked in and the weather was, but when I left at like 6:30, oh my God, I was like, God, the roads weren't as bad as I thought though. The wind was howling, it was cold, but the roads really weren't that bad if you were careful. I made it home and whatever, but it was windy and cold at 6:30 last night.
No.
Yeah, we came in at like a little after 5, Tommy and I, yesterday, and it was 45 degrees outside. And when I left yesterday afternoon, it was 28.
Yeah.
And that was without the wind chill.
And then I said it's going to be in the 30s tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and today's 17, and it's at least the wind has died down. When I woke up today, my recycling thing was in the street.
It's 13 and -8 for a wind chill.
Yeah. I mean, it's late December.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse. But I heard you guys say 31, then 33 on New Year's Day
or
New Year's Eve.
It was a lot worse. It is a lot worse to the north.
Oh, yeah. We're lucky we're in southeast Iowa.
Yeah.
As opposed to basically things shut down north. I mean, it was blizzard.
Mesa's under snow.
Oh, and does he live in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Suburbs or in the city?
City.
Okay, so that's one thing about living in southern Iowa. It's one of the advantages because we do seem to miss a lot. Seems like Highway 30 oftentimes is
that's what they
threshold,
said.
the break
North
point.
of Highway 30 is where all the action happened.
When I saw that report about I-35 being shut down between Ames and Clear Lake, I've driven that thing so many times, and it can be brutal.
We have too.
Not a lot of wind protection there either, man.
We used to go that way to.
Well, isn't Jan from up there?
To Britt.
Yeah. I used to go that way to Clear Lake.
Now we just take 218.
Yeah, things are different now because everything's 4-lane and what have you. But
it took us 3 hours. It used to take us like 4.5, maybe 5 hours, and now it takes like 3.
Same thing with driving to Madison. Now you can do it in less than 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little bit around Dubuque of that 2-lane stuff, but no, the drive is so much better now. So we got a busy week. The men play today. The women play on let's see, New Year's Day. Is that Thursday?
Thursday's New Year's Day. Yeah.
Women play Thursday. Football plays Wednesday. And football.
Doesn't the gymnastics team start off?
I think
this
they
weekend?
start on January 7th. I think.
And the soldier salute, is that this weekend or next weekend?
I think that could be this weekend too. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff going on. Whereas now I got to pick an athlete of the week, our Shields athlete of the week for last week. Not much to choose from, but thank God Ava Hayden had it. Thank God they played on. That would have been the only game last week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the basketball game yesterday. So I think Ava Hayden has a good chance of winning the Shields Hawk Fanatic Athlete of the Week. She was impressive yesterday. Chit Chat came out and scored 10 in the first quarter, and she only had 6 the rest of the way, but they didn't need her. No, it was just a nice win. It was good to see Lisa Bluter there signing autographs, and she was kind of going around. Lisa's great. She doesn't seek the attention, but she knows how to handle it when it comes to her. That's how I would describe her. Lisa doesn't need the attention, but she also knows that people want to be around her. They appreciate her. And it was neat seeing her sitting next to Gabby Marshall at the game. And no, Lisa just handles everything so well. I mean, she really does.
She's a pro, that's for sure.
No, she really is. She does a good. I haven't seen it much because I'm usually covering the games, but I've been told she's a really good analyst too when she does the games. She does a good job.
I saw her do a game. And
she did one recently. Now I'm at the game, so I can't listen. But I've been told by people
she really is good.
They're like, I'm biased because I'm a Hawkeye fan, but she does a good job.
No, she's very insightful.
I'll tell you, Fran would be a great studio analyst. Fran would be great at that stuff. Hell, I've seen Steve Alford do that stuff. I mean, he was good. I wonder how Kirk would be. I think Kirk would be okay.
Alford throw the other analysts.
You threw them all under the bus. But usually head coaches are pretty good at that stuff, though, because they're used to speaking in front of people. And they're used to commanding an audience and to sort of being in charge. But no, Lisa does a really good job, I've been told. And like I said, if Fran ever decides to be a studio analyst, I think he would be really good. Really, I do. And Ben McCollum would be great.
Oh God, yes.
At that stuff, he would.
No, he's really
good at. He's really good at expressing himself and what have you. He doesn't overtalk and what have you. And it's nice to see. I like to hear more from coaches because there's so many media loudmouths that just blab and blab. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, me. I mean, it's nice to hear coaches who've actually been there and done it say some stuff at times. You know, I saw on my Twitter today, I get up and it's refresh it, and it's something about Stephen A. Smith running for president.
Oh, he's
God, I'm just so sick of that. Stephen A. Smith. You imagine him as president?
No, and there isn't a snowball's chance.
In hell it's going to happen.
No.
It's
not
ridiculous.
Not at all. He doesn't have the aura or the...
He's a sports guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at least Trump, you know, had done business and whatever and had that show. Stephen A. Smith talks NBA and college sports. How does that make you qualified to be the freaking president?
I don't know how sometimes he's qualified to do what he's doing.
I'm so glad Skip Bayless is off the air now. I don't have to. Those are two of my least favorite. I mean, it's just all about them. They show Stephen A. Smith walking into an arena and he acts like he's the show, like he's it. He's a freaking media guy. Media take themselves way too serious. Yeah. That's one thing I can honestly say. I'll compliment myself. I've never taken myself as a media guy very serious because I cover the Iowa Hawkeyes as a sports guy. That's, in the big scheme of things, that's not real important. It really isn't.
I don't think anybody, I've never thought of myself as...
Well, I mean, you at least do. I mean, like I said, I'm a Hawkeye sports guy. But there's a lot of people with jobs just like me who really think they matter, and we just really don't.
I've never thought
we try to provide a service. You know, if people want to read about the Hawks, but
I'm doing a job.
But in the big scheme of things, we really don't matter. I just think media now, with the internet and everything, I just think there's some people in the media that take themselves way too serious.
I think there's people on the internet that take themselves.
Well, yes, but Captain, really, a big part of media now is the internet. The internet is the biggest part of media now.
Well, and to show you that
you can answer that?
Sure. Hi, you're on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't want to be on the air.
Well,
now that you are, what do you think about being on the air?
I didn't want to be on the air this morning.
Yeah.
It has its advantages.
Okay.
I was actually after the general manager, but happy holidays to you guys.
The general manager is not here.
Hopefully it's a little warmer in Iowa City than it is here in Des Moines.
Yeah, it's like 90 here today.
You're right.
I don't know what it is there.
I grew up in Des Moines. Is it really cold there today?
Yes. We're still dealing with slight wind, below zero wind chill. Sun's out a little bit, but still kind of icy and sort of dangerous.
So that's what we're going to have 2-3 hours from now.
It's 13 degrees and minus 12 wind chill here.
So where do you live in Des Moines? What part?
In other words, another wonderful Iowa day.
What part of Des Moines do you live in?
Altoona.
Oh, okay, Altoona. I grew up in Beaverdale. That's actually in Des Moines.
Okay. I love the Beaverdale brick homes.
That's right.
They're awesome.
You know the circle there that has all the Christmas lights?
Oh, yeah.
Wallace Lane and Ashby, that's right.
Kind of a tradition,
yes.
Isn't it?
My dad was one of the very few that would not put up Christmas lights because he said it was too expensive. Ball humbug.
He didn't want to write a check to Mid-American Energy.
He did not want to. He's like, there's that damn wreath with lights. That's my contribution. Merry Christmas. Hey, this has been a great call.
So since I'm here, what's the topic of the day, gentlemen?
What's the topic of the day?
The topic of the day
is Hawkeye sports. We're right in the middle of a Hawkeye sports segment.
Oh God!
We just had.
I am one of the few Iowans that I'm a bit out of my league.
You're not a Hawkeye fan?
Well, you know what? My grandson goes to the University of Iowa, so of course I'm a Hawkeye.
Okay, all right. There you go. But no,
other than being a casual follower of all things Hawkeye and all things sports in this great state, I'm really not one of the diehards, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's what you get when you're a 40-year transplant.
Oh, there you go. All right.
My grandson was born here. I was not, but I've been here for 45 years.
Well, welcome.
So I might as well be.
All right.
I might as well be.
Well, hey, this has turned out to be a fun call.
Well, there you go. Yeah. I'm actually trying to get a hold of Mr. Suter at some point. But,
he will be back. He'll be back. He'll be back next week.
Well, he'll be back Friday.
He's coming back Friday. I don't think he's
not going to be back.
There's an office number I can call so you guys don't ambush me the next time.
The one you called is the office.
The one you called. It's just nobody's here.
Usually somebody will answer it.
So I get to talk to you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. There's my holiday gift, I guess.
All right.
Gentlemen, Thank you.
It's been
and,
nice.
Have a great time.
All right.
Stay warm.
Thanks.
See you.
Yep.
That was fun.
Bye.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably calling about potential advertising, don't you think? Shooter told me he would be back Monday, I think. Def said.
I thought he said he'd be back Saturday.
Maybe. He definitely won't be here Friday. He told me
he
that.
might not be here Friday, but he'll get back Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to be. He won't be at the show Friday. And he said I thought he said it was 50-50 Saturday. So we'll see.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference? It's we don't plan out this stuff. I don't plan. I have no plan.
Well, our plan for Wednesday, assuming we're probably not going to.
I would like you to come in at 7.
For what?
Well, that way you can
listen to CNN.
Listen to CNN. Yes.
Listen to CNN for 3 hours.
And you comment.
Yeah. But the football game starts at 11 Wednesday. So is there is there a point in doing a show?
No.
Okay. We've decided that. But
is there a point in doing a show?
Any day?
Any day.
Any day? Is that what you say when you get up at 3 o'clock and start driving?
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. That ain't that the truth.
Yes.
Why?
Especially this morning.
I picked a really stupid industry to get into.
Yeah, today was not a fun day to wake up.
No, ridiculously cold.
But it really, in the big scheme, wasn't. I mean, we've had there's been times, Captain, where our high is -10.
I know.
That's what I keep reminding myself, but it doesn't work.
When the first winter that I moved here, it was like that. It was like 40 below with the wind chill.
Was that 2000? When did you move here?
2014 or
okay,
15?
Well, 2019, in February of 19, when my dog was dying, that's the worst one I remember. There was 3 days where the highs were like -15.
Yeah, it was cold.
And my furnace, I remember it was even old back then. And I just remember sitting there with my dead, dying dog, and she's like, God, this is the worst I've ever been in my life. My dog's moaning in pain because his kidneys are breaking down, the urine seeping through his hair, and you can smell it.
Okay.
And then I put him to sleep that morning. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was like -35 degrees outside, and it was
worst.
just the worst.
To lose a pet.
To lose a pet is the worst.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't gotten a new one since. I mean, this July will be 10 years without Buddy. 10 years without Buddy.
We lost Tabby, 2 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to it didn't seem right not to have a pet. We've always had a pet. And
well, I see that. Cats are easy because you don't have to take it. Dogs are different.
This cat that I got is just real mellow and wants to be with you and talks to you.
I mean, I've thought about getting a dog again, but every time I talk myself out of it. And if Buddy and Lakota end up being the last 2 dogs I've ever had, I was pretty lucky. I had them both combined for 17 years. It is weird, though, not having. I've gone a while now. This February will be, Lakota died, and this will be 7 years without a dog in February.
I wanted to get a pet nobody was getting.
That's
nobody
always
was picking
good.
up.
And how old is it? You said like 10?
10.
They could live another 10 years.
Yeah.
Cats oftentimes they live 20 years.
Our Tabby was 19.
Yeah, I mean, dogs, the problem with dogs is I was lucky. Buddy was 16, Lakota was 14, and they were bigger dogs. They don't usually live that long. I mean, like Great Danes and Boxers, their life, it's like 8 years.
Lily was 13.
That's good, too. So, yeah, no, if you can get 10 years out of a dog, consider yourself lucky. But when they die slow, it's just not.
Yeah, it's not good.
Especially when you're by yourself, which I was. I mean, it was tough. Buddy's was tough, but Buddy's was a longer. Buddy died over the course of like a year and a half. You started seeing poop on the carpet for the stuff like he started losing his bowel control. But Lakota, man, I walked him in December, and he was dead in February. His spine just gave out. It was over. Done.
Lily was gone in 2 days.
And I always wonder if dogs know that. Do you think dogs know they're dying?
Yes.
I think they do, too. I think there were times when Lakota looked at me and was like, I'm ready. Buddy, too. All right, change the subject.
When you had...
Change the subject.
When you were playing Zeppelin.
No, that's what kept...
I can't listen to this anymore.
That's what kept him going.
playing.
Oh, God. Now I hear the Rockford theme.
That's what kept him going. And whenever I turned you guys on, and there's always a chance there'd be... Carly Ray or whatever. Then I'd have to be careful because that would hurt them. No, my dogs were big. They loved my music.
Yeah,
they loved Pink Floyd.
When your dog was passing and urinating, he thought, "Hey, this is the
No,
way
it wasn't.
Morrison
No, what
went."
happens is the kidneys break down and
Yeah.
it seeps through their skin. The smell, because it wasn't like he was peeing on the floor, but it was miserable, man. I mean, and it seems like oftentimes with dogs, the first thing that goes are their back legs, and that's what happened with Lakota. He couldn't use his back legs. Just one day he woke up, he could not use his back. And what I noticed the last couple of months, though, his tail used to always be up. Last couple of months, even when he was still walking, his tail was down. And I always wondered, and that was, I think, the first sign that his spine was giving out. But he was 14. He had a good life.
Well, then Lauren Boebert is healthy.
What's Lauren Boebert have to do with anything?
Her tail is, anyway.
On that note,
You got to stop thinking of politics, Captain. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I had a call the other day from and they asked me if I wanted to answer a few questions. I'm like, no, and they're like, why? And I'm like, 'cause I don't want to. You know, I want to hang up, and I don't want to answer your questions. And they hung up.
good for you.
I get 3 to 4 times a day now some guy that wants to, some tax guy.
Yeah.
That, you know.
Wants to what?
Wants to lower our taxes. And 3 or 4 times a freaking day.
I still get in the vehicle and home warranty. I'm getting a lot of home warranty. They want to
I get that.
And I called the guy on it the other. I'm like, okay, so how much? He goes, well, we could insure all your stuff in your house for just under $200 a month. I'm like, okay, so if I did that for 2 years, that'd be about $4,800, almost $5,000. Name me a freaking appliance that I could not. That would buy a new that would buy a new refrigerator. It would buy a ton of stuff. They want these warranties. They want you to my vehicle.
Well, it's like
my vehicle. They offered me $197 a month. That's $4,800 over 2 years.
And what they don't tell you is, okay, like, and it really breaks my heart because I like Ice-T. I like him on Law and Order.
Yeah,
but he
Ludacris.
comes on, Ludacris. They come on and they tell you, it's this much a month. What they don't tell you is, they'll pay for the repair, but first you got to diagnose the repair, and you got to pay for that yourself.
They basically pay for labor.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the prices are so expensive, it doesn't make it worth your while. I mean, $5,000 will buy a lot on a vehicle. And if that's what it would charge you for what they wanted, the last one that I actually gave them a chance to do the presentation, they wanted to sign me to a 5-year vehicle protection, and the whole thing would cost $10,800. And I said, that's almost buying like a used car. So they wanted me to spend $10,800 over 5 years as a vehicle warranty. That's too expensive. Don't you agree?
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Sometimes I guess you got to take your chances and get your. I take my car in every. I'm going to do it here shortly. Get the oil change, get it serviced, and what have you. But I mean, if it was something where you get $65 a month or something, I'd consider it. But $180 to $200, it's too much.
And how old's your car?
My car right now, it's a 2015. It's got 120,000 miles on it, and I put about 4,000 miles a year on it. I don't drive it that much. I drive it to here. And I drive it over but I don't use it for Big Ten trips anymore. We always rent cars and what have you. So it's just not worth it. Yeah. And I keep getting the water line thing. They want to insure. My insurance pays for my water line.
Yeah, that's a bunch
And
of
they try to
crap,
tell me
too.
it doesn't. Well, I called my Chad Birch, my insurance guy at State Farm. He's like, Pat, he goes, we added that 3 years ago.
Mike
and it's like
Gould-
$6 a month.
Mike Gould, I called him, and you're taking.
I'm covered up to $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I keep telling these people, well, it could cost more than 10. I'm like, whatever, dude.
Then I'll buy. I told one of them, well, then I'll buy bottled water.
Yeah,
I'll dig my own well.
But no, a lot of these home insurance policies now are adding that policy, and it's at a pretty fair rate. I know with mine, I barely felt the increase in price, but no, I'm insured up to $10,000 with Chad. Yeah. So, I'm trying to think if there's any. Well, there's really nothing else Hawk related that we. I will say it was a nice crowd yesterday. That place was close to being full.
Good.
It was really good. It was a really good environment in there, and I think that mattered. And it was a nice, impressive win. I mean, they're 11-2 and 2-0 in Big Ten play. They're not UConn. They're probably not going to win the national title this year, Iowa. They may not make it to the Final Four, but I still think they have a chance to have a really good season. And by that, I'm saying win more than 20 games, make the tournament.
No, let's hope.
Is Suter down in Florida? When did he leave? Yes.
No, this morning.
They leaving this morning?
Yeah.
And then, I'm not, maybe he did say he'd be back, but yeah, we'll be in,
He'd be back Friday.
Yeah, but not.
I
the
thought
game's
he'd be-
on. Okay, well maybe.
Well, no, he told me he's definitely not back. I asked him about a Friday show, and he's like, no, I won't be back. So he's definitely not back Friday. And I thought he said he would be back next Monday. But maybe he meant Saturday. He said definitely nothing. He won't be here on Friday, is what he told me.
Okay.
So I love the line of communications here. It's really strong.
I got to be here, and something will be on the air. That's the way I look at it. As long as it's on the air.
So if I wouldn't have shown up today, you guys would have carried that Patterson interview. You probably would have asked more cutting-edge, abrasive questions.
Yes.
You would have wanted more answers.
Yeah, Don, what do you think of Carly Rae?
You think he's heard of Carly Rae Jepsen?
Yes.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, I
no,
do.
I'm going to text him.
Absolutely
I am texting him
that he's got a CD
No.
that he plays over and over again. Loves it.
Call me later. That song.
Call me maybe. Call me later.
Well, close.
Dear
God,
man.
But no, I
What is
guarantee
wrong?
I guarantee you, he's heard of Led Zeppelin, but he's never heard of Carly Rae Jepsen. I'm gonna say that, and I'll ask him, and I'll give when he texts me, I'll give you the. If he says he's heard of her, then I will admit that I'm wrong. So, Carly Rae Jepsen. So what is it again? Call me. I always say call me later.
Call me maybe.
Call me maybe.
Yeah.
And he ended up being gay, didn't he? He ended up
I haven't seen
in the video. He ended up going after her male guitar player.
Never seen the video.
I've seen the video,
so I can't tell you.
Yeah, I think that's what happened on the video. So, are we done?
Yeah,
Thank God.
Yes, we're done.
The men today at 4. Park at your own risk. And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, a 4 o'clock game on a workday is just really weird. It just doesn't happen very much.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening today.
It's happening today. And maybe there are a bunch of people that aren't working this week.
Well, they were doing a $10 ticket special for the game today, and there are a lot of kids off school, so see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, there are, there are kids out of school, so they may get that. The Iowa students aren't here, so that obviously is not going to help. It'll be, if they have more than 8,000 people at this game today, I will be shocked, and that's no knock on Iowa men's basketball. I mean,
it's just the game.
This is just a tough sell. It's not a great opponent, and it's a tough time, and the weather ain't great either, so we'll see. All right.
HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It is free.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and